Welcome to the Pulse of the Heartland podcast, the podcast where no topic is off limits. Now, welcome the boys of the Heartland, Bryant, Ryan, Clark, Joey, and Trent. Welcome to the Pulse of the Heartland podcast. This is the Funcast. We're going to shoot from the hip here. We're going to hit a lot of topics. Just a little disclaimer. We had some technical difficulties while recording this podcast. So first half of the podcast you're going to hear was recorded on Thursday, December 8th. And the second half of the podcast was on December 7th. So if things don't seem chronologically correct when you're hearing this, that is why we are not.
And also,
if
we sound a little more sober right now than we do later on, that's also why.
We didn't immediately get drunk. I'm going to go the other way because I wasn't drinking last night, so I've got a beer right now. So,
yeah, Trent, you sound less hydrated in the literal sense, not in the jokey beer sense.
Thank you. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'll take it as one. So again, like we say on every podcast, if you like what you hear, let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like, what we could do better. We want to hear feedback. That really helps us. What are the socials to give us the feedback on, Joey?
So Instagram and Twitter are both the same, at Heartland Pulse. You'll find all of our smoking videos, all of our locks, all of our picks. We did start a college bowl group. If you guys want to join that, password and everything is put on Twitter. Follow us on there. Join in. I don't know if we'll have any prizes or anything, but you can also just use it to talk shit to us after you kick our asses. So, but you won't because I'm going to win. So don't worry about that.
That's awfully confident.
We know how all my picks go so far.
Yeah. We'll get to that later in the pod.
And then you can find us on Facebook, Pulse of the Heartland, and also our brand new YouTube channel. Just search Pulse of the Heartland. We got a couple of the podcast videos on there now, and we'll be posting more on there as we go.
All right, Uncle Joe, what are you drinking?
So I am sticking with the Broadway Brewery theme. I have a beer. It's a toasted oat coffee stout. Usually not my cup of tea. I'm usually not big into this, but it's one of their limited edition stuff, and it's actually really good. It's called Lofty Pursuits, and I pulled a Bryant, and they've got these shiny orbs of hot air balloons floating in clouds, and the whole can's kind of like glowy and cool, and I was like, oh, I want that because of the can. So I pulled a Bryant and got beer because of the can.
All right. Uncle Joe also judges a book by its cover.
Yep. Tonight I do.
Working out so far, hasn't it, Joey?
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
Good.
All right. Well, Homer Bryant, what are you drinking?
Well, on the having too much fun cast last night, I had too many beers. So right now I'm the Trent tonight. I am drinking my water right now, but it is out of my Mug Night mug when I went out I'm sorry, Mom, not every Thursday in college, but a good chunk of them. So I'm at least drinking out of my drinking cup. How about that?
Very nice. West River Ryan, what are you drinking?
Same situation with Bryant. Water tonight. The 116 Oak and Eden was a little too much last night, so just going with water.
Man, I don't know why you all felt terrible today. I felt great. So
you missed out on a good time.
Yeah.
All right, Clark Hambone Brewbaker, what are you drinking?
A little bit of Pendleton whiskey and water.
Still
Nice.
keeping with the NFR theme, huh?
I mean, I've got a couple more nights left.
Enjoy while you
more?
can, dude.
Yep, 3 more.
Sure. What are you doing tonight since you're not on call?
I am just going simple. I have a Michelob Golden Light. Nothing fancy. No small brewery around South Dakota like I've been doing every podcast, or in Iowa. But Michelob Golden Light. That's it.
Nice.
Nothing too exciting here.
So all the advertisements on NFR, they've got was it Gold Buckle beer?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys had that?
No, I want to find it and try it.
I've only ever
I
had it.
this. Go ahead.
I've only ever had Gold Buckle beer whenever I was at a PRCA event in Deadwood.
Yeah, that's exactly where I had it this summer.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
would
bad for light beer. It's not bad.
Yeah, I'd love to come out to the rodeo out in Deadwood. I know we were there. Well, it was during your wedding last year. I should have went.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what, every August, I believe, or no, July.
I'm looking at a picture of the can right
when
now.
did you get married, Ryan? Come on, you got to think about that.
Shoot, I'm in
Jeez.
trouble now. God, dang.
You better hope Rebecca doesn't listen to this episode.
Well, good news, guys. No. Yeah, come on out end of July. We'll go play some golf too.
Sounds good to me. All right, well, let's jump into this thing. First up, we'll talk about some of the meats that we smoked here. I'll jump in and just talk about the ham that I did. Again, I did on Sunday. The reels I did on Instagram are up. You can see those, and I posted basically step by step on how to do this. But it's just a ham, so very easy cook. A ham is already cured, already kind of cooked there. So you're basically just warming this up. What I did was I put mustard on it for a binder. That's in one of the pictures. And you can put any rub on it that you prefer. I found the Fire and Smoke Society's Pork Perfect rub, and it was really good. So I rubbed it down with that. And then I put it on the smoker at 300 for about 2 hours. And I put it on a grate over a pan of apple juice. After that 2 hours was up, I tinted it with some foil just so that condensation from the apple juice can get up in there and kind of stay in that foil. Made it kind of sweet. So that was really good. And then put some glaze on it. The glaze was very easy to make. It was just brown sugar, some chicken stock, and apple juice. I've also seen recipes, instead of the chicken stock, you could use like a bourbon because you simmer that for about 20 minutes. So you're you're cooking the alcohol out of it basically. But after we simmered that, we put it on the ham and just let that go for like 20 more minutes. Took it off. It was ready to go, and it was excellent. I really enjoyed it. That the rub from the Fire and Smoke Society was very good.
Nice. So a couple questions. You didn't score it or anything, right? You just put the binder on and didn't open it up at all, right?
Correct. I did not.
Okay. And then when you say you tented it, did you do any injections with it also? And then the tenting, you just put tinfoil over the top, correct?
Correct. Yeah, just the tinfoil over the top. I did not inject this at all. Okay. But yeah, just the tinfoil over the top. And as you can see in some of the reels, it was very windy in South Dakota on Sunday. So I had a hard time keeping that tinfoil on there when I'd open the smoker.
Nice. Yeah. Next, so I did kind of the same thing for Thanksgiving. Mine was a little bit smaller, but I did score mine and everything. I do next time want to try a spiral ham and then see if I can get more of the flavors down inside of it, kind of open up in those flaps and stuff. So any thoughts on that?
I haven't done a spiral cut ham, but I would love to. Like, we did one on Thanksgiving on that Sunday, but I didn't smoke it. We just did it in the oven.
Yeah.
So I've never done a spiral cut ham on the smoker. I want to. Every time we basically do a ham for Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, like that's our go-to. Like that spiral cut is awesome.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this was just a ham that we got these vouchers from work that you could get a free ham or turkey from like Hy-Vee and Sioux Falls. And they were having a deal where if you bought a ham, you got a turkey for, under a certain weight for free. So I took that voucher, bought the ham with it, and then got my turkey. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you get the high chai? That's the important question.
I did not. I was just there being thrifty. Okay. No high chai.
Well, it sounds like a
That's
mistake.
dangerous. It's like when you're going to Walmart or Target and you're kind of looking around with that high chai there. You're like, you know what? I could just get a quick meal to go. That's what hits me every damn time I go there.
I've never had
So
it.
good, and it is reasonably priced too.
Mm-hmm.
Never had it.
Nice.
So, we all of us that smoke on this podcast, we all smoke on pit bosses. So that's what we talk a lot about them. And it sounds like Ryan had an issue with his, but had a good experience with them.
Yes, so my igniter went out over the weekend. So I was gonna do a ham myself, but that didn't end up happening. But called Pit Boss on a Saturday, and within 10 minutes I was set up for a new free igniter replacement sent out to me. So should be getting that this week. Shout out to Seth for his amazing customer service. So Pit Boss, you need to give Seth a big old raise, please. They took really good care of me. Very happy with it.
Let's get him on the pod. Let's get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Seth.
Yeah.
Seth, put
I'm
on
just gonna
your
right
bosses
now.
about sponsoring us too, please.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's
I'll,
only
just
one
call
Seth
customers.
that works at Pit Boss, right?
Yeah, I'll just call customer service multiple times until I get him. And you're not Seth. Hang up, Carrie.
Not my Seth.
All right. So since Ryan was out of commission, didn't sound like he smoked anything. But Joey, did you smoke anything this weekend?
I did not this weekend. I was busy with our company Christmas party and stuff. I know, excuses, but I did not. Tonight I did throw cream cheese on and made some dip for tomorrow. So I put a reel up on Instagram. You can check that out. Use the Fire and Smoke Society Chicka Bam Bam and some garlic salt. So yeah, it turned out pretty good. I just took them off not too long ago.
And that's another thing for novice. If you're getting into it, the cream cheese is excellent,
Mm-hmm.
and it's super easy.
Right. Yeah. So I have a couple of the racks that you could buy that are like silicone, whatever, so that they non-stick. But even if you just use a piece of tinfoil, put that on there and let a little bit fall off, it's fine. But yeah, that shit is amazing. So try that.
Yeah, that's all I do is just tin foil,
Mhm.
spray it with some Pam. Good
Yeah,
to go.
I found those racks are super handy when I do my wings, and I do a whole smoker full of wings. So those are super handy.
Yeah, I've had a few wings slip through the cracks.
Yep.
So I've lost one here or there. So yeah, having one of those racks that you have would be nice.
They're $15 at Walmart. They're super cheap, super easy.
There you go.
Mhm.
All right. And Clark, I saw you were smoking some stuff today, actually.
I was using my smoker. It was not turned on. I was just using the contained area inside that smoker to do some cold smoking. I threw some cheeses on there, got some good smoke flavor into those by just doing that little cold smoke technique.
Mm-hmm.
While I was doing that, I was cooking up some chili as well. So that was delicious this evening.
Nice.
What kind of cheese did you smoke?
I had a bunch of Colby Jack and a few blocks of some cheddar. I just went to Dillon's, grabbed a cardboard carton of blocks of cheese and walked on out.
Nice.
Didn't pay for it?
Oh, I did pay for it.
That's when Clark admitted to shoplifting.
Right.
Newton P is listening right now. You're in trouble. Yeah,
Like
so
it. That cheese looks good. Your chili looks really good too. Did you use some brisket in that?
Nope, I did not have any brisket left in my freezer. I did look for some. The chili is just a pound of hamburger and a pound of pulled pork. I actually did use a little bit of bacon in this cook this time. But other than that, it's my usual technique of a little sweet, little heat.
Nice. So we've got a chili cook-off next Friday for our company. It's not really a Christmas party, but it's a gift exchange. And I'm talking so much shit at work. I can't wait to win that motherfucker. So
use Clark's recipe. It is award winning. So
I am not. I will use my recipe and wipe the floor.
you better hope so after talking like that.
No one from my work.
You have a bunch
anyway.
of $10 bets that work with this too.
I'm about ready to. Hey, if I keep doing these $10 bets, I'm going to strike it at some point. So, yeah, it'll be good.
Yep.
I do have one question about the chili, though. I've been seeing a lot of the over-the-top chili on Instagram and then that Pit Boss Facebook group that I follow. Either one of you had any thoughts about trying that, or do you even know what I'm talking about?
No idea
Not
what you're
again.
talking about.
I have not seen it.
Okay, so what they do is they'll take that top rack and they'll put their chili in like their cast iron or even in just their crock pot itself. Put that on the bottom rack, and in the top rack they'll put their meat. I've seen people just like put a ball of meat on that top rack and just let it smoke, and all the drippings get into the chili, and supposedly it makes it taste amazing. And to me, that would just add way too much fucking grease for me, but I don't know.
I've seen that technique done before, but with like baked beans or something like that down below. Haven't thought about doing it with chili though yet.
Yeah, I saw. I mean, it looks like it's catching on like crazy on that Pit Boss group. So I saw people do like steaks, or someone even did their whole brisket over like the brisket tip on that, and that I think would be good. That wouldn't be too much grease, but if you're doing just plain old hamburger or like chorizo like I do, I saw someone put a ball of hamburger wrapped in bacon, and I was like, you know how much grease is going to be in that goddamn chili? Like, I would not want that anywhere near my shit. So, yeah.
So I have seen. I didn't do it when I did my chili on the Pit Boss, but if you're gonna do chili on the Pit Boss, I heard it's really good to like take your ground beef before you cook it and put it on there and cook it on the smoker, and then mash it up so it's like so it's browned, so you get that smoke flavor in the ground beef, and then you put your vegetables on there too, and then cut them up, throw them in the chili, and then put it back on the smoker when it's all your concoctions all together, to finish it off.
Why are you putting vegetables in chili? I think Bryant's a pure anti-vegetable person.
I'm very offended right now.
I don't want to share my chili with Bryant, so it's one way to do that.
Anti-vegger over here.
Yeah, so no, if you're gonna do like some jalapenos or green peppers or something in there, they say to smoke them first and then put them in, which I think that'd be a great idea. I should try that.
I definitely want to start doing smoking my jalapenos and stuff before I put it in my jalapeno popper mac and cheese that I do on the smoker. That sounds fucking delicious. But I cheat when I do my chili, so I use Rotel. I don't like to spend time with vegetables. I just want them in there. But I always put my meats in my cast iron and smoke them.
Yeah, and I never thought of doing that until I read about that. I'm like, that would be a lot more smoky than just putting it all on there.
Right.
Just to warm it up like I did. But it was still good. So
yeah. It's the key to a good chili. Season and get your meat the flavor you want it to get. Because if you try to season after it's in the red sauce, it doesn't work. What do you do when a skunk sprays you? You take a bath in tomato juice. That's the same thing that's going to happen to your seasoning. Is just going to go away as you dump it in.
That's a good analogy. Never thought of that.
This is why I want to win every chili cook-off ever.
This is why we have you on the pod, Joey, to relate chili to skunks.
I drink and I know things that are not things. Just what I make up in my head.
All right. Anybody else got anything to about food that they're making?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Anybody got any plans for this weekend? What they're gonna make?
I am doing 2 racks of ribs, cheesy potatoes, and I was told a side salad, but I think I'm gonna do broccoli instead for my brother and his family and my girlfriend on Friday.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you, Joey, how you were going to cook a side salad on the smoker.
Just the ribs. I'll let it drip the drippings onto the lettuce, and we'll just have wilted lettuce.
Oh,
Just does an extra set of ribs and takes them off and be like, "Oh, my salad. Sorry,
Yep,
turned
exactly.
into ribs. Messed it up again."
Exactly.
All right,
Mr. Ron Swanson, that's the food my food eats.
Yep.
yeah.
The boys from the Heartland will be right back.
All right, so some college basketball. The AP poll came out on Monday. Looking here, it looks like there's 11 teams from the Heartland in the top 25, and Iowa's getting votes. So basically half the top 25 is from the Heartland. So strong in basketball. Purdue, they jumped to number 1. Kansas and Alabama, they're all in the top 10 from the Heartland here. Iowa State, like I always say, just as we expected, number 17, undefeated still.
Yep, 1 of 11 left right now.
Yep.
So, yeah, after a 2-win season, we all expect a number 8, ranked number 17, about to beat their rival. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, they're going to continue on with the streak too, dude.
All right. Well, let's just talk about Iowa State here. They played Creighton in the last week here. Again, their defense pretty much won them the game. They forced a ton of turnovers. And I've said this in multiple podcasts. I'm going to keep saying it, that it is refreshing to see an Iowa State basketball team play defense after what we've had the last 6 or 7 years.
My buddy TJ said it perfectly. You know, we went into that game, and that was the worst start I've seen in some time on Iowa State basketball. Just low scoring. You know, I had switched from the Iowa football game, and they were scoring just as many points. I think they had 3 until about 11 minutes left in the first half. It was refreshing to see, not only, like you're saying, Trent, we have finally some good basketball to root for, but just as well that we didn't even play our best game, and we came back, and then we pretty handily forced those turnovers and beat Creighton at that point.
Nice diss.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to win a game and not have to score 85 points to do it.
Yeah. No, it's weird. Like I said, like we've been probably, the 60 to 70 range all year. And I'm used to the, DeAndre Kane and Monte Morris, Niang, where they're putting up 85, 90 a night. And it's kind of nice knowing that, hey, we're going to shut these teams down and we don't have to, go gangbusters and jack up threes every time if we're just playing this fundamental basketball, honestly, and just getting it done at that point. Nothing fancy. They're just, playing defense, making moves when they need to.
Yep. And I will take that all year as long as they keep winning. I don't care if it's boring basketball. Winning is fun. That takes care of the boring.
Winning cures everything, dude.
Correct.
Yeah, just look at Iowa football.
Yeah, we want to talk about Iowa football after this last weekend?
No, that was the last pod.
Okay.
That was the
My bad.
sad Joey pod that came out the other day.
Yeah.
So
Wah, wah.
I mean, I can definitely keep going in on Iowa if you want me to, Joey.
I could keep going in on your face if you keep talking about it.
all right. So KU, K-State, Wichita State. We got some Kansas teams here, and 2 of them played each other in the last week.
They sure did. K-State visited Wichita here, and they were playing at Intrust Bank Arena there in Wichita. It's never a very good venue for Wichita State. They never seem to play their best whenever they're there, and neither team really did very well from what I've heard. Really just a kind of sloppy game all throughout. Kansas State did get together a little bit towards the end, managed to put a little bit of run together, get a little bit of separation. They came out of that. I think they were up 6 or 7 points to get that win. But looking ahead, K-State, they've got Marquette here. Actually, they just played Marquette today. I haven't even looked at that result. That's part of the Big East, Big 12 battle. Wichita State, they're looking at Norfolk State here this weekend. Norfolk State is 9-2, so we'll see how that matchup goes. Then to KU here. They played UTEP last night, handled that one by about 20 points. And then this weekend, they have the Border War playing against the Mizzou Tigers. That game has not been played since February 2012. It was a very close affair then. It went into overtime, and KU came out of it 87-86 victors. So be looking for that one on Saturday.
Nice. Help you out a little bit. Marquette beat K-State 64-63.
Oh, close one.
Close game, but I mean, Marquette, I just saw, I was actually watching the game earlier. They have Shaka Smart as their coach now.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Went on from Texas.
Did Texas fire him already?
I guess. I can't, I'd have to look up who the new Texas coach is, but you know, Marquette's always one of those teams like we always talk about, you know, that you see them on your March Madness, you usually pick them. So I don't know, it's kind of nice to have a big name there and hopefully, you know, keep competing.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought up Texas. I meant to tell you this before. There is one person at my work that does listen to this podcast, and she's a huge Alabama fan and wanted me to tell the guy that talks shit about Steve Sarkisian to shut the fuck up. She's like, we will take him back in a second as offensive coordinator. I don't care if he's a head coach or not. And I just laughed. I'm like, but he sucks. Why do you want him? She was adamant to just tell you to shut the fuck up.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of Texas fans that will welcome him leaving at this point.
Oh, I'm sure too. I argued with her. I was like, why? I'm a Falcons fan. We had him as a coordinator, and I don't ever want him near that facility again.
So I totally forgot this. I don't know why Shaka Smart was fired or left or whatever to Texas, but Chris Beard is their coach now.
Yes,
he left Texas Tech to go to Texas, correct?
Yeah.
I've totally forgot about that.
Winning a freaking natty at Texas Tech, and then now it's SEC, but at that time you're moving to an in-conference rival. That's just an odd story. I can't believe I didn't remember that.
Yeah, that happened before the whole SEC thing went down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the SEC thing's been going down for a couple of years. Nobody knew about it, so maybe he did. I don't know.
Wait, did you say he won in it? No, they lost to Virginia, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they went to the national championship. They lost it.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I've never said I've been a very factually correct man other than the shit I talk about Sarkisian.
Oh, no. What? You're right. No, I was just double checking. I was like, I don't remember Texas Tech winning a national championship, but no, I do remember that game, though. Overtime.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to the Big Ten. Iowa had to run into Purdue, but they got past Illinois this past week.
Mm-hmm. Well, they lost both games, and both games were super close. They played better than I thought they were going to. Purdue, they didn't have Keegan. He just wasn't out there. They only lost by 7 without their best player to the number 1 team in the nation. I'll take that. Illinois, it was a close game down the stretch. I thought they had a better chance than they actually did because I like Coburn, but they were also missing their starting small forward. But the other freshmen, I don't know what you call him, power guard, I guess, or point forward. That's what they call him in the NBA. He is super fucking good. He's going to be a great NBA player at Illinois. But everything in Illinois goes through Coburn. They shut him down in the first half, and they couldn't in the second, and he finally took over and wore him down inside. And I think that is going to be Iowa's Achilles heel all of the Big Ten season.
Yeah, that, and they didn't have their best player against Purdue, and Purdue has a roster full of people over 7'1". Mm-hmm. That's usually a problem.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know who matches up well with Purdue. Gonzaga has those 2 tall dudes, but I mean, since they don't have Sabonis or whatever anymore, I don't know. no one really matches up well with the 7'4" dude that can actually kind of move.
The Monstars, they would.
Yep.
But I mean, hell, even the Zags, the team like you're saying that might be able to compete. I mean, hell, they've dropped a couple games. Now they're two of the top 5 teams, but it's just weird seeing them have 2 losses already this year.
Right.
Yeah, usually they get their first loss sometime in the regular. Second loss is usually about in the round of 16.
Yep.
So
How'd I know you were going to go there?
because I always do, and that's why we have no listeners in Spokane, Washington.
Yeah. Well,
That's the only reason we have no
Only.
listeners in Spokane, Washington.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right. So we've talked about Iowa and Iowa State. They play each other tomorrow on Friday. So by the time this podcast comes out, I think Iowa State wins this game by a couple points. I think it's going to be close, but we keep talking about Iowa State's defense. Keegan Murray, though, for Iowa, he'll be back. So I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I do too. And this one is at Hilton, just like the women's game, right?
Yes,
Yep.
correct.
Yep. So I'm assuming Iowa State's probably 3-point favorite or so. Like normal.
4.5. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna stick with a bet that I want to make with you guys. We talked about it last night before the technical difficulties, but $10 a game to each one of you for the men's and women's. Women's, I've already lost, so I know you accepted the bet. But yeah, I'm gonna hold on to my Venmo until it goes back to 0 once the Iowa men whoop that Iowa State ass.
Nah, man, we're gonna take it in Hilton. I would say we didn't quite get it done in wrestling earlier this weekend, but we'll take care of it. Women's basketball already got it done. There's gonna be another bout of Hilton magic here, dude.
Man, I hope that they have the players farther away from the crowd than they did in the wrestling game.
They'd be sitting in their freaking laps.
Yeah, exactly. That was terrible.
So what's your prediction, Joy? What's it going to be? Iowa by how many?
Oh, man. It'll be close, I bet.
I think the notes here say that it's Iowa by 50.
Oh,
that's what somebody has typed in.
Oh, I did that last night. Yep. Iowa by at least 50.
Okay.
I'll take those odds, Joy. I'll take the plus 50 for Iowa State.
Oh no, we're doing money line.
Oh,
we're
darn,
doing money
okay.
line.
I'm going to say Iowa State wins by 5. They're going to cover the spread.
Yeah.
I bet, man.
Brian,
If I were a betting man, I would take it within the.
apparently you are a betting man.
About everything.
Bryant, what do you think?
I'll put $10 on Bryant takes outside the spread.
Oh God, Joy, just get your Hamilton ready at that point.
If I was a betting man.
I mean, I think honestly, it's interesting seeing Iowa now being the team that's so offensive, and Iowa State now being the defensive team. They've kind of flipped within the last 5 to 10 years. I think Iowa State, as long as we can keep Keegan contained, which I think we're gonna do fine. I mean, as long as, like I said, Creighton, we had one of our worst performances of the year, and we still beat them pretty handily. And I think what was does anyone happen to know the score off the top of their head?
No.
I'm on it.
It honestly
64-58.
Point
60.
What was that, Joey? Sorry.
64-58.
I mean, 64-58. We beat them by 6, and we had 0 offense. And again, I was going to be a little bit of a tougher matchup than Creighton. Obviously, I don't know, man. We've been hitting our free throws. We've been playing well. That defense has been stout. So until I see someone actually stop us playing good defense, I think Iowa State wins by. You know what? I'll be cocky. Iowa State wins by 10. How about that?
Called it. There's my $10.
Yeah.
Told you to be outside the spread.
Well, yeah. I mean, what am
Only
I going to be?
you were betting.
Am I going to be nicknamed Homer Bryant and say I think we win by 2? No, you gotta be big and bold, dude.
You don't get that nickname by not doing that.
Yeah, by pussyfooting around, we dominate this game.
It's funny you bring up the free throws. Hopefully, Iowa's free throw woes go away. Going into the Purdue-Illinois game, they were number 2 in the nation at free throw percentage, and they're like in the 50s now. They just did not do well in either one of those games. So hopefully that goes away coming into this game.
And, we talked about the technical difficulties. We also had the bet for the women's game that was tonight. Iowa State pulled that out. They won. It was a top 15 matchup. It was a good game. I watched quite a bit of it, actually.
Yep.
And speaking of, you're talking about Iowa's free throws. The women's game, the Iowa State and Iowa women's are the top 2 free throw percentage teams in the nation. Iowa was number 1, like 89%.
And then Iowa State 85, I think.
Right? Yeah. It was kind of cool to see that. And of course, they put that stat up there, and then Iowa State misses like 2 free throws. So the old jinx.
Exactly.
Yeah, always happens. So
77-70. Caitlin Clark and Ashley Jones. Jesus, sorry guys.
Yeah.
Man, they were dueling. 26 points each. That was a good game for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ashley Jones, she is from Iowa City, I believe. Correct?
Yes, and Caitlin Clark's from Cedar Rapids, West Des Moines.
Yeah.
So
kind of cool seeing some local girls getting it done there.
Right.
Any more on the Cyhawk series?
I don't think so. We do cover quite a bit of that in the wrestling podcast, combat sports podcast that will be coming out probably on Friday morning, same time as this one. So yeah, check that out. It covers the UFC that's coming out next week, and then also recaps the Iowa State game, Iowa State meet. My Uncle Wayne joins us. He's very, very long-winded. He's very good at what he knows. He's very knowledgeable about wrestling. So check that out. Let me know what you think about that.
All right, so let's move on here to the SEC. LSU, they crack the top 25, which is fitting because they're an SEC school, and pretty much the whole SEC is just ranked at this point.
Right.
Yeah, so they're 8-0 at the moment themselves. And yeah, the SEC is just looking really good. You got Alabama at number 9, you've got Kentucky at 10, Arkansas 12, Tennessee 13. Auburn 18, Florida 20, and LSU 25. That's a pretty stout conference there. So LSU plays again, I believe the 10th. What was that, Saturday, I believe? But they've got a top 5 different defense. Hopefully that keeps on going, and they can keep winning games by scoring 65, 68 points and not have to worry about it.
So they're basically Iowa State.
Just with a better defense. They're actually like top 5.
Oh, had to go there.
Yeah. Do we want to get into that can of worms? Or
Sorry,
just
I'm sorry.
You're happy with being top 5. With the way we played defense the last decade, we're happy being top 150. So there's that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't think LSU has a great resume either, long term.
Yeah, and
Ben Simmons.
Yeah, that Ben. I mean, how's he doing in the NBA right now?
Yep.
He's not.
He's playing really good defense. No one scored on him this year.
True.
That is true.
A fact, Joey.
Him and Zion.
I think you forgot the part where you said he's playing really good.
Oh, yeah.
He's not playing anything.
He's just collecting a check. That's what he's doing.
I should have said he has good defense this year.
Yeah, so Alabama and Kentucky from the SEC, they are 9 and 10 right now. But yeah, SEC looks strong, and their conference schedule is going to be a gauntlet. It's going to be fun to watch because there's going to be a ton of ranked matchups.
I'll be curious. I mean, they're just going to beat up on each other, and I'm assuming every team is going to come out with losses by the end of the year or end of January when all this is finished. So I'll be curious how they rank them after that.
But that all plays in
on losses.
That all plays in very well because that's going to go their strength of schedule, their RPI, all this stuff when it comes tournament time. They're all going to be, they're good enough. They're going to get in the tournament.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would assume so.
All right.
Who did Bama? Gonzaga. Never mind. was like, who they just beat to jump 7 spots? But yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. No more Gonzaga hate, Joey. Jeez, I already got scolded for that earlier.
Hey, I'm not trying to. Facts. That's what I do. Factual.
A little known golfer named Tiger Woods. He showed up at his own tournament this week, so that was huge news. Got anything on that, Ryan?
Even bigger news today. He is back to playing next weekend.
Yes.
PNC Challenge.
Yes.
Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to be spending my family Christmas vacation or Christmas gathering watching golf.
Yeah,
Tiger.
I immediately saw that on Tiger's Twitter, so I retweeted that on the Pulse of the Heartland Twitter account. So, we basically broke the news.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, Tiger was obviously firsthand himself.
Yes.
So, we were close second.
Yeah. So him and Lil Chuck, they're gonna win that thing.
little Chuck Woods, yeah.
Axel.
Him and little Axel.
It's nice that he gets to ride in a cart on this tournament. So that's probably the only reason he's playing in it. But I look forward to seeing what the TV ratings for this thing are going to be.
I bet. Yeah, the ratings. I never thought about that till you just said that. I bet they are going to be huge.
Yeah,
Absolutely enormous.
Not a lot of college football going on either. I mean,
Yep.
Just Army Navy.
I mean, and people would. His son could be playing with some random guy on the street, and that would bring people in. But you've got little Chuck and Eldrick playing. That's gonna be a lot of eyes there. I'm sure ticket sales just absolutely skyrocketed too once rumors were coming out that he was playing.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes, for sure. And Victor Hovland, he took home the victory in Tiger's tournament.
Yeah, so this is his second win of the 2022 season. This is a unofficial event since it's not a full field, but he still does get world ranking points. He's playing very, very good golf. It's fun to watch him. He's a fun player to watch too.
How many players are in that tournament? Isn't it like 22 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. And it's cool because it's usually top ranked players. Now you're missing some of the big names, but you've got all the other big names. You've got Morikawa, Koepka, DeChambeau, Thomas. You've got all those big names there.
Yeah, I think it was when I was watching, they said that was it 17 of the top 50 in the official world golf rankings were in this tournament. So star-studded field, tough field, and Victor Hovland, he's hot right now.
He is. Yes, he is. And he's another young guy that I think golf is lucky to have. He's a fun person to watch.
He just has to stay off the weed. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go Google that. It's hilarious.
Yes. And I'm kind of upset he doesn't tear shirts and stuff like that, like Rory when he loses. But he's still pretty exciting golf to watch.
Wait, Rory tore a shirt?
He's the Hulk, man.
Yeah, Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. I didn't know he. Awesome.
Yeah. He's a fiery player. So every once in a while he'll tear his shirt apart. He'll snap a club. He'll throw one in the water. It's kind of fun.
Oh, nice. I like Rory. I like watching him play. I just didn't know he did that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Anything else Sorry, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so then to continue a little bit more with golf, this year I know we had discussion on one of the first podcasts of whether broadcasting for golf was dead or not because they were moving to different networks, or I think they're moving to USA Network. Well, I was wrong thinking that might be the case because they are going from 3,200 hours of coverage in 2021 to 4,300 hours of coverage.
Oh,
and
shit.
that is thanks to a deal with ESPN Plus and Disney Plus to get some streaming rights on that. So there will be nonstop golf this year for everyone that is interested.
It doesn't seem like enough hours.
I
need more.
I love how the Masters, you have one commercial break every hour.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I'm guessing with these ESPN and Disney Plus deals, that's going to be kind of the same thing, I would assume.
That is the best napping weekend of the whole year. You fall asleep watching a little bit of golf, wake up, and they're just ending the tournament. Oh my God. It's so awesome.
Yep.
Jim Nance lulling you to sleep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
A little hungover from a UFC the night before. Oh, good shit.
maybe one of these years I'll get lucky enough to win some tickets in the Masters lottery, but
I think you might as well just try for the real lottery, Trent.
right now my odds are the same because I haven't got my tickets to the Masters yet. So
yeah, my brother was lucky enough to get some practice round tickets, and he went and just absolutely amazing is what he's saying.
does it surprise you that he won those? Because doesn't he win stuff like on these Instagram things like all the time?
Constantly. Thanks to him, I've gotten a couple different sets of irons. That guy, I've never seen anyone so lucky when it comes to winning things.
Good old Kevin.
Good old Kevin.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hit the most Heartland sport there is, in my opinion, and it might be a fact. The NFR is going on this week. It started last Thursday. It goes through Saturday. So 10 nights of the rodeo in Las Vegas. I have watched most of it. I didn't watch last night because we were podcasting, so I got to watch most of tonight's before we hopped on here. So I know Clark, he's into the NFR pretty big. I think he's caught quite a bit of it as well.
Yep, sure have. I've been watching it here throughout the week. Current standings here, we got 3 nights to go before the final night and before all the money's handed out. They do hand out money actually every night for every event, and the standings for NFR, it's all based off of how much you've earned throughout the year. So for the different awards throughout there, there's actually a few close to the home players that are in the mix. In bareback riding, there's somebody coming out of Waverly, Kansas. Name is Jess Pope. He's currently sitting in second. He's within about $12,000 of that first place spot. And then there's an Iowegian there at number 4 out of Zwingle, Iowa. So a couple names I look for in that category. It's always fun rooting for the home state competitors.
Yeah, I had to look up Zwingle the other night when I was watching, and that came up. Never heard of it. It's on the very east side of the state.
This means nothing to anyone outside of small town Iowa, but Zwingle makes Gowrie look like a freaking metropolis that has like 4 total streets in it.
So a couple other Iowans in it. Tegan Smith, he is from Winterset. He is in the Saddle Bronc competition. And Wade Sundell, he's from Boxholm. So he's only about 10 miles away from Gowrie, where a couple of us here are from. Wade Sundell has been very successful in Saddle Bronc over the years, and pretty unfortunate for him. He won the go around on night 4, had a great ride, and then night 5 he carried the flag into the grand entrance for the state of Iowa. They all come in on their horses, and there's somebody from each state that's represented carrying the flag. He got to carry the Iowa flag, and coming out on the grand entrance, they all ride their horses out. His horse bucked him off. He went head over heels over the head of that horse. He still rode later that night, but about 15 minutes later, they said, "Hey, Wade Sundell might be hurt, might have an injury." He still rode. He got bucked off pretty quick, and he kind of crawled out of the arena. I found out tonight he did break his back. So,
oh shit!
Yeah, he broke some vertebrae, and that just said like how tough these guys are. He still rode after he did that.
God damn.
Yeah. He had a pretty bad injury in 2018, I believe it was, where he got bucked off in the chute and lacerated his liver. And now he came back and now has this injury. But yeah, these dudes are tough.
Well, I can tell you, these guys are tough because if I ever lacerated my liver doing anything, I would never do that thing again. I don't care what it is. Horseback riding, getting on a stepmaster, I don't care.
Getting on a stepmaster.
I couldn't think anything else at that point.
It is pretty cool to see. It's a lot of these people are their family. It's a big family thing, and we talked about this last night in the technical difficulty pod. We'll just call it that because we lost like an hour. There's 3 brothers in the 15 competitors in the saddle bronc competition. Spencer Wright, Ryder Wright, and Stetson Wright. And Stetson Wright also is in the bull riding competition. So that's pretty cool that he qualified in two competitions there.
Well, and so then there's also the all-around cowboy category, Trent, where it is their total money winnings. So he leads that one handily. He's right there at the top in the saddle bronc earnings and close to the top as well in the bull riding earnings. So his all-around earnings are 3 to 4 times greater than most other competitors.
Yeah, so I have that pulled up right now too. He has over twice as much money as second place.
Yeah.
He has 467,000. Second place is 212,000. So yeah, that guy is a talent.
Their whole family is.
Yeah.
Like their fathers, uncles, cousins, like everybody in that family, extended family, they're all in the rodeo.
Yeah, so I watched it, last year and the year before a little bit, but I really paid attention to it this year because we're at bowling on Thursday nights. Pat and Barb, they got it on in the bowling alley, so we watched it a little bit last year. Now this year I'm kind of getting into it a little more, and the first night I watched it was Friday night. They kept showing the same family in the crowd after like a bunch of riders. I'm like, why do they keep showing these people? And I was like, and then I figured it out. Holy crap. These people are all brothers. That's why they keep showing the same family in the crowd.
And actually, tonight, Stetson, he, in the bull riding category, he rode 3 times within about 10 minutes. They pulled the gate before he had nodded ready to go, got a re-ride. The bull came out of the chute the second time, like the wrong direction, got another re-ride. On that third ride, he did hit the 8 seconds. There was only one other rider tonight, so they split the money for that category.
Yeah, so he took home $47,000 and the other guy took home $40,000 just for tonight. And Stetson's ride was 90.5 tonight. So that's a pretty good ride. That's a good score.
Is there any comparison that you can make? You said there's the 3 brothers and they're all at this professional level. In the last few years, we've seen obviously, the Mannings are taking over football, and the Ball family is, I don't know if they're dominating quite yet in the NBA, but they're all competing at that level. Is there any comparison on those brothers? Like one of them's Peyton, one of them is Eli, one of them's Cooper at home. I mean, is there any type of comparison like that?
Stetson's the leader as far as earnings and competition wise. He's the one all around cowboy, bull riding. He's up there at the top in the saddle bronc. His brother is actually just ahead of him, Ryder, in the saddle bronc category, but I don't believe Ryder competes in anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, is Stetson, is he the only cowboy here in 2 different categories, or?
That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I couldn't find anybody else. So, so my favorite thing to watch, and something I think it'd be kind of cool to do, is steer wrestling. Like that looks awesome.
You want to be the old White Goodman, grab the bull by the horns out there?
Yep.
That is my favorite category as well.
Yeah, like they come out of the chute full speed on their horse, jump off their horse while it's running full speed, grab the steer, get their elbow under its nose, and flip that steer over on their back, and that's when the time stops. It's pretty cool. And they're doing this in 3 to 4 seconds. Like the top
Yep.
guys are doing this in under 4 seconds. 3.3 seconds, one tonight's go around.
Wow.
Pretty fun to
Wow.
watch. I love it. And I think Joey just got himself a Cowboys channel subscription.
Yeah, I definitely will since I'm paying the $10 for the month.
It starts about 7:30. Just a heads up.
Yep.
Starts about 7:30.
Yeah, you know, I rant about having to pay for wrestling, and then I just throw $10 at Cowboy stuff that I've never even heard of or thought about. So yeah.
Dude, I think you'll like it. It is it's nonstop action, and
It is.
there's no lull. Like they run them through so quick.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's not like, oh, this guy did his steer wrestling. It's going to be a 5-minute wait. No, it's like the other guys they got that steer in the chute. The guys are on their horse in their chute. They're ready. It's pretty cool.
I mean, it's like that at any PRCA rodeo you go to.
Mhm.
Like they make a stop off here close to us near Wichita. We always, feel like that's a great event to go to. So, if they're ever near you, it's worth going to watch.
Mhm. Oddly enough, growing up, I don't know if you guys remember back when like ESPN2 was just starting to come out, and on Sunday afternoons, it was one of two things. It was either rodeo or motocross on Sunday afternoons after we had post-church dinner lunch at my grandmother's. And my cousins were huge into rodeo. They both did bull riding, and then their sister did, I want to say barrel racing. But they would always make us watch rodeo. And so I watched my fair share growing up when I was younger. I mean, I just haven't tuned into it in a while. But yeah, I like rodeo. I think it's definitely a sport that you have to be fucking tough in, which I think that's cool as hell. And I look up to them very much for that. So
Yeah, I can't remember who it is. I'm looking at the steer wrestling here, but one of them has a torn pec. He can't even like raise his arm, and he's out there giving it his go still every night. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I'm a wuss. I mean,
I have a hangnail on my right big toe, and it's bothering the fuck out of me. And I don't know if I want to go to work tomorrow.
I was just gonna say, Joey might call in sick.
I might just work from home. You never know.
Yeah,
Joey, if you had a lacerated kidney, you'd just be on your deathbed, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, my kidneys barely work anyway. And if I had a lacerated liver, I would be dead.
Liver shit. That wasn't either way.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I had a lacerated liver, I mean, you might as well just kill me now. If I can't drink, what's the point?
Just heal it with your vodka.
Just put me down, Doc.
Yeah. No, before the podcast, I took a picture of my setup and I put it on the Instagram account, and I tagged the NFR, and I tagged, you can see on my Yeti, my Up North Outlaws sticker I have on there. So yeah, they saw that Up North Outlaws saw that, and they now follow the Heartland Pulse, Pulse of the Heartland. So shout out to Up North Outlaws, man. They're kind of cool. I've followed them a little bit. It's just ran into a guy in a bar in Park Rapids, Minnesota, where we go fishing, and just started bullshitting with this guy and drinking beers with him. And it turns out he was a bull rider, and he kind of created this company, and they're still super into bull riding. I think he actually, he might own some bucking bulls or something now. I don't think he rides anymore. He's retired from that, but yeah, super cool dude. So yeah, shout out to them.
Well, hell yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
The boys from the Heartland will be right back.
And this is where we pick up from our podcast from last night. Sorry again about the technical difficulties. Here we are, being very professional.
And we're back from outer space with
God
that
damn it.
on your face.
Fucking rodeo.
Hello.
Hello.
That tweet you put up of what steer wrestling is, it
You
is
like that?
spot on. That is it. That you nailed it.
That's all I've
is-
been thinking this whole fucking time, dude.
Is that freaking God? What is his name?
White Goodman.
Yes. Dwight. Is that? Did he have that picture up in like dodgeball or something?
It's me grabbing the grabbing the bull by the horns.
Oh
Yeah,
my
just like
God.
life.
figuratively, but also literally because it's right there.
All right, I'm back, guys, too.
I'm only
Yeah.
through like half this bottle of Pendleton, so
So
what?
I have a
Let's roll.
$9.99 a month subscription to NFR now.
Well, are you looking at NFR or are you looking at the Cowboy channel?
Both.
I just had to buy the Heartland package on Sling TV to get $6 a month.
Oh, what's
I
that
got
called?
Dish,
Trent?
so I got it.
The Heartland package.
I believe that's what it was. Yeah.
How
All right, give us a
fitting.
sponsorship.
It's meant to be.
Do the
Right
right thing.
YouTube.
Right. All right, let's transition into some esports here. Clark, do you have anything on that?
Oh, we've got some big drops coming out this week. Actually, looking at time right now, we've got the Halo Infinite campaign dropping for myself at 12 Central Time today. Luckily, I have the day off work. Going to be cold smoking some cheese, cooking some chili, playing some Halo Infinite. That is what my day is going to consist of. It's going to be awesome. I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I'm looking on Metacritic, and normal people like you and I can't give our reviews yet on this, but you've got 79 total reviews. You've got 75 positive with 0 negative. It's a awesome thing for Xbox to be getting first party exclusives like this. PlayStation has been killing Xbox, and I don't care about console wars. I'm not one of those people, but it's awesome for Xbox to finally get good exclusives.
I've always felt a soft spot for Microsoft. I am a Microsoft homie. Don't get me wrong.
I'm with you.
I've never been much of one for PlayStation. They've got good games. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and be like, oh, if you're not playing Microsoft, you're a loser. No, I don't agree with that. But I really love the way Microsoft has been handling their game development. Throwing it back a couple years ago, Sea of Thieves came out. Trent and myself played a shit ton of Sea of Thieves. We're like original OG Pirate Legends before they started coming out with like seasons and all kinds of stuff. They are still developing that game. And I think Trent's been jumping into that one here recently.
Yeah, Katrina and I, we got on, it was about a week or so, and we played a little bit, a couple hours. But yeah, we spent a lot of our life playing that game. We played like every night for a year when that thing came out.
It was so awesome.
That came out in 2018, and yeah, they're still adding stuff to it, and you can go on there.
The years of like 2018, 2019, we probably played that game for a solid like 500 hours a piece.
Yeah, and yeah, like you can get on it now and do. Everything's completely different. You can go do a ton of different stuff than what it started with. That's what I like about it. It keeps evolving and changing.
I feel like the big change for Microsoft was when Phil Spencer took over. Phil Spencer is I think he's the vice president of Microsoft, or he's like of the gaming community or something like that. Or,
I think he's the head of the gaming.
He's the head of the gaming. I think he's
Xbox Studio stuff.
Yeah, he's current. Okay, just looking up. Current executive vice president of gaming at Microsoft, and he seems like he's a normal guy who just cares about games.
That's just it. Like, he's the perfect guy for that position. He wants everybody to be able to play and just enjoy themselves. Like,
whereas, do you remember the guy that was prior to him?
I
Steve
don't.
Ballmer?
No.
Was that who it was?
No. So it was Don Matrick, who I think he's the CEO of Zynga now. I think the Farmville people. Where when the Xbox One was announced, it was going to be just online only. Well, there's people that we're not a 100% connected world at this point. Still, it may seem like it, but we're not. And somebody asked, okay, the Xbox One has to be internet 100% of the time. What's going to happen if we don't have internet? And he goes, well, buy an Xbox 360. That's not really our problem. And that did not go over too well. And he resigned not long after that. And then Phil Spencer took over. The Xbox One, I enjoyed the Xbox One. It was a pretty good generation. But since Phil Spencer had kind of limped his way through that, and now he's got the Xbox Series X and Series S, seems like everything he does is just great for Microsoft.
Anything else on that on esports?
I was going to point out a different game that actually just dropped on Xbox Game Pass. So Xbox Game Pass, I know Clark has it. It's basically Netflix for video games. You pay, what is it, $10, $11 a month?
I pay $15 a month. That includes my Xbox Live, Xbox Game Pass on the Xbox, so I can play any games in that library on my Xbox. I just got to download them. And then I have PC Pass, so I can play any Microsoft games on my PC as well. I do have a decent PC, so it includes that as well. And again, anything in that PC Microsoft library, I can download, play it for free.
Yeah, and my PC is butt, so I can't really play much of anything on it. But yeah, so with Xbox Game Pass, whether it's Xbox or PC, PC is the ultimate Game Pass. Serious Sam 4 came out, which a lot of
I've never tried that out.
So, have you ever played Duke Nukem?
It's been a long time.
So basically, Serious Sam is an over-the-top version of Duke Nukem and Doom combined, where it's just cliches and stupid lines and all this stuff. It's very humorous. So if you have a chance to look at that, not the most highest budget project ever, but I know it's something I'm going to check in on. I'm going to be playing. It just dropped today. I think it was on the Google Stadia for 1 year release or something like that. But yeah, it just dropped on Game Pass today. So I'm going to take a look at that. Like I said, it's just over the top action of stupid gaming, basically. Just close your mind off and enjoy shooting aliens and stuff like that.
I'm definitely looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a good day. Get some podcasts edited, get them on the ready to publish, play some freaking video games. It's going to be great.
Well, Clark, do you ever do Warzone at all?
No, actually,
yeah.
All right, speaking of Warzone, Pacific just launched it.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yep.
I have not played any Warzone. I was on Vanguard earlier playing with a good friend Dean, checking it out. He just got his internet upgraded, so we were testing it out. But I have not played any of the new map on Warzone.
Yeah, well, we'll have to try that out. I know that's coming out tomorrow for Vanguard owners, and then then the next day for everyone for free. So that'll actually be. I mean,
that's
it's kind of
Pacific setting, correct?
Yeah, exactly for Pacific, but that's kind of a little sentimental. As dumb as video games are, as old as we're getting, that was one thing, during the pandemic when we were fucking shut into our own houses. I was living in Verdansk more than I was in the real world. So kind of interesting to see the new map coming out.
I'll be curious to see how much time I get when our child is born in the spring. But
let me let you in on this, Clark or Ryan and Clark. None.
No.
You just didn't have the right technique where you could rock that little baby with your foot while you're killing some noobs there in the Warzone, Trent.
Yeah,
I don't care how old you get. It's just a good way to come home and relieve stress and just not care about anything going on.
Yeah. Exactly. I was craving some Vanguard here this week. Got on it this afternoon with Dean, just had myself a good time.
What do you
just
think
a few
of
rounds.
Double XP being every weekend?
I wish I had double XP right now. Like, shoot, I haven't had
nice.
as much free time in a while. Freaking holidays going on.
It's really nice. I shouldn't care about that because I don't care how high. I shouldn't care how high my STG or my Car 98 is leveled up, but it's still nice.
It is nice. Speaking of, leveling up, I think Halo's working on getting their season pass fixed where it's not so demanding of time to get that leveled up. So they're working on that. It's a learning experience for them to get that tuned. But
I'm so bad at Halo multiplayer that I'm excited for the single player, but I am atrocious at Halo multiplayer.
Yeah, I've never been much of one for Halo has a very structured ranked system that I've never really gotten into. I just always enjoyed those LAN parties growing up, playing with my siblings, playing with my friends, just smoking their ass. on these maps, playing, like split screen 4x, yelling at your little brother because he's screen peeking, like, hey, look at your own little corner of the TV. Quit looking at
You're starting
mine.
to sound like Joey when I play him in Mario Kart.
That's right. Quit it. Look at your corner. Quit looking at mine.
So I want to tell a funny story here, and this is of my brother, who I love my brother. He's awesome. Trent knows him. Or I guess Clark knows him too. He's a great guy.
Kevin's a saint.
Kevin is definitely the most level-headed of us two, and he's a great guy. The first time I met his wife Sarah, it was at their apartment. He was sharing an apartment with I think just one guy actually, and they were playing Mario Kart. And so me and Sarah are kind of getting to know each other and all this stuff. And you know how Mario Kart gets, where you get a huge rivalry with whoever you're playing against. I know I have.
Brian.
Did you guys have Mario Kart battles?
Oh God, Brian and I are the only two of the four of our friendship that actually can compete with each other. And it's usually Brian. It's usually Bryant that wins, but I mean, every once in a while I'll get one in.
Yeah. So I think oh, go ahead, Brian.
I was just gonna say it's more of a domination than a battle, but I'll concede Joey has been winning more as of late.
So I was probably, I can't remember how old I was, but I was a late teenager, probably like 16, 17 when they started dating. And so I'm trying to get to know my brother's future wife, and him and his buddy Brian are playing Mario Kart. And they're battling out. Sarah and I are talking, and Brian he does something to beat my brother, basically. And my brother, who, like I said, is the more level-headed of us two, never seen him really get too angry, just chucks the controller, and it goes flying towards my face. And thank God for those not being wireless controllers, because it just stops about a foot in front of my face and drops down. And that was the first time I met my future sister-in-law.
Nice.
So I know that's an embarrassing story of my brother, but no, he truly is a fantastic guy. So.
I think we all can relate to the wired controller throwing it against the wall. And like you said, you got lucky that there was a cord there. Otherwise, that thing was shattering when it hit the wall.
Are you kidding me? Mario Kart was the most... I mean, you lose friendships over Mario Kart. Yep. It's one of the most fantastic games ever made on this planet, but you definitely lose friends over Mario Kart.
Not when you're that good. You don't. I remember Brian and I went to a Barcadium in Des Moines and ran the fucking table for 3 hours straight, just sitting there, just playing Mario Kart. And I'm like, what? No one else wants to come challenge us?
Up, down in Des Moines. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that one.
And we were yelling at each other, and people would come up and be like, "Oh, we could beat you guys," and we wouldn't even pay attention to those people. We were just trying to beat each other and getting mad at each other.
I'm curious: is Joey always Ricky Bobby in this situation? Or was Brian always slingshotting Joey into victory?
No.
It depends on what it is. If we're drinking and driving, yeah.
Brian's got the blue shell. He's like, hey, I got you on this one, Joey. Get ready. Here you go.
Yeah, get ready.
No,
so there is a Mario Kart drinking game. It is called Drunk Driving. So you start, the light goes. You start with a beer that isn't opened. Mm-hmm. When the light goes, you open your beer, and you can go. But you have to pull over and stop if you're drinking your beer, and your beer has to be gone by the time the race is over. And like I said, your car cannot be moving while you're drinking.
Wait,
and what most people don't know.
Is this news to people, or?
Yeah.
Probably is. Actually, I haven't heard of it, to be honest.
What most people don't know is that's actually the drinking laws in Missouri. You all you have to do is be pulled off to the side of the road, right. Drink your beer, and you can... I'm just kidding. Everyone, please do not drunk drive for the love of God.
Have you never heard of drunk ball before? It's kind of like that. You throw the ping pong ball at the can and you just chug until they can get the ping pong ball back on the table. So you got to put it down fast. It's just training you for this Mario Kart.
We should play some cocaine, which is even better than that. So.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Everyone, cocaine is a game. It's not the actual drug.
Right. Yeah. So we're not advocating cocaine. But
It's like beer pong.
pong
Let's
relay
not, yeah.
race that
Thank
you have to
you.
finish a beer within a certain within the game, and man, it goes super fast.
Yeah, where we're talking about which more. Hey, let's start with we drink a little bit playing Mario Kart, and all of a sudden Joey comes in. Hey, you know what's fun? Cocaine. And then it didn't. I just want to make sure we clarified it before imaginations just went
Cocaine's a
wild.
hell of a drug, okay?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You guys want to have fun? All of a sudden, we're
Oh,
games.
that's right.
But no, shit.
Just make
Brian
sure you
and I
don't have
were
a nice
playing,
couch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian and I have been playing drinking and driving on Mario Kart for work ages now. I mean, that's just kind of how I get back at him.
I have not owned a Nintendo system since the N64. I just realized that.
Yeah.
I have a 64 hooked up in my garage right now.
N64, then I've had the PS2, and then I went to Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox. So yeah, I've become a Microsoft whore.
Yeah, we have a Switch, and I have a original Super Nintendo.
When you say we, you mean Katrina has a Switch.
And Trent just kind of feeds off that.
I play it more than her.
Trent knows it's there. What do you play on the Switch? Don't even give us.
Didn't you have a Super Nintendo when we lived together, Trent?
Yeah, I still have it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I played the Super Nintendo and the NES simulator or emulator on the Switch quite a bit.
Trent's
Oh, the
fancy enough to
emulator.
have a simulator.
You got to
That's
throw it
awesome.
back to the older games. You're not much
Yeah.
of a GameCube person, huh?
Yeah, I
Didn't have that. Did you have that, Trent? Or Clark?
NBA
Oh,
Street on GameCube?
I love the GameCube.
Did you?
never had one.
Was that PS2 era?
So
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I'm a little younger than you guys when it comes to the game consoles because I didn't even know what video games were until N64, and then GameCube from there. I never even had my own console until GameCube was out, and it wasn't even my first console. I had an N64 after the GameCube was out. So
I was lucky because I had a dad who liked Mario, so we had the first Nintendo where you had to blow in the cartridges and hope that worked. And the awesome Ninja Turtles game, that was fantastic.
Oh, hell yes. Now you're talking about speed there.
So great. And then, after that, we went to PS2, 360, and 1, and yeah.
See, we were always a WWE fan.
Yes.
Family.
Raw.
Man.
Well,
WCW versus NWO was like my first big thing. And then they did the World Tour, which was amazing. And then
we had Revenge.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
All right. Quick question.
Page and Bill Goldberg.
Who was your wrestler in WCW NWO?
Bill Goldberg.
In WCW?
WCW NWO on N64.
On that one. Fuck. God damn it. I think I was.
If you say anybody but Sting, it's the wrong answer.
I was going to say Sting, but I couldn't remember if he was there yet.
The Big. Oh yeah, he was on WCW NWO, and then there was the Big Show, Kevin Nash, Big Sexy. Oh yeah.
So
see, I always like the THQ characters, like the created ones, because they could do weird shit off the ropes that everyone else couldn't. That was my favorite thing.
So my brother and I were big like wrestling people, especially the WCW days. After that, then whatever. For me anyway, and for him, I think. But Bill Goldberg was huge in our family. Whenever Goldberg came up, my dad, my mom, my brother, we were all watching Goldberg.
I think if there's anybody who liked wrestling, Goldberg was a hero.
That dude was awesome.
God,
so
no.
I didn't pay attention to any wrestling until like 2 years ago when Goldberg came back.
All right, so all of you guys are Nitro fans. I am Raw to the core, baby. Give me that WWF Attitude Era all day.
Stone Cold, Steve Austin.
See, I'm a Mankind, Undertaker, like weird, like quirky fan. I love all that shit.
Okay, Mankind was great. I will give you that.
So I dressed up as man. I will post that on Twitter. I dressed up as Mankind
Please
for
do.
Halloween last year. I'm putting that on there now.
I'm sorry, but Goldberg was probably for me, and I think I can probably speak for my brother too. Goldberg was the best thing for WCW.
It's always been because
100%.
Stone Cold said so. Okay.
I wasn't even that big of a Stone Cold fan.
But like,
What?
The Rock says.
I honestly
Okay.
did not watch that stuff when The Rock was coming of age.
I like how this
I kind of
esports
got
went to wrestling real
WWF.
quick. Wrestling in the
okay, it's
90s.
okay.
Here we go.
And if you want to switch gears, the next thing on the agenda is college volleyball.
Bull crap. Let's go back to wrestling. Hey,
Yeah.
We might not get to our locks of the week.
Hey, yeah, we still got those. Good thing we're like half a bottle through, a few cans through. Trent's been drinking water.
Yeah,
He's
let-
level-headed.
why is
Yeah.
my Okanine is halfway gone through a night of podcasting?
So, are we really going to volleyball here? Or are we still talking wrestling?
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's wrap up volleyball.
Yeah,
quick, if
we
you
are
don't
going to
mind.
go over on
So-
time.
Volleyball, they had the first 2 rounds this past week. A lot went on. There were a few upsets in that first week. I know Ryan had talked about the defending champion Kentucky. They actually fell to Illinois.
Illinois.
No, it's noise. They spell it with the Nois.
No, it's only
My
one.
Discuss this Illinois and
It's not plural. It's only one.
So they're facing off against Nebraska. They're picking up rounds 3 and 4 this coming week. 12-9 will be the round of the Sweet 16. Illinois will have Nebraska going on here. Looking at the other end of the bracket, Kansas, they came out of nowhere. They had a few upsets this week. They beat Oregon. Oregon, I think they were a Sweet 16. Sweet 16
Oregon.
last year. Yeah, the Oregon Ducks. They were solid. And then so Oregon beat them in that first round. They moved on to Creighton. Creighton was hosting that regional. Kansas upset them 3-1. So Kansas moving on to the Sweet 16. They've got Pittsburgh here. We'll see how that goes. If they win that, they could be facing off against BYU or Purdue.
Oh, I'm just looking through all the teams that are left here. I'm a little mad. My girls at Pepperdine, they didn't quite pull it through in the first round like I talked about last week.
Ridiculous.
I had
Yeah,
USD winning it all. And that didn't.
all right, Joey, you think anyone from the Big Ten's gonna win? They got Wisconsin, Nebraska, Minnesota,
There's quite a few Big
Purdue,
Ten teams
Ohio
still
State.
out
Fuck,
there.
actually, that's 5 of the 16. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Never ever bet against Nebraska volleyball.
Yeah, Joey,
Never.
Big Ten or the field? What are you taking? 5 teams.
I'll take the Big Ten.
So
Okay.
if we're taking the favorites out of the Sweet 16, Nebraska could be facing off against Texas, who is number 2 in the Elite 8.
I'll take my Mankind pictures versus everybody. So.
Oh, jeez.
Joey,
It has
Joey
been
and Brian.
posted. Oh my.
Joey and Brian, how long have you known Trent?
Ever?
Since
Forever.
4th grade, and we were throwing slam dunks down, and I was eating hearty wheat in his kitchen with his
Yeah,
parents.
just-
So
They probably knew him before the earliest picture I've seen of Trent. He was running cross country in high school and had his big old red afro. That's the
Oh, yeah.
earliest picture I've seen of Trent. They probably knew him before that.
So
this,
it's malto meal. not
so
hearty
this-
Absolutely.
this Iowa State party bus that you guys had that Trent was the driver of, I'm guessing Joey was probably not part of that.
I was not. No.
Okay, so
I was
Brian
part
was-
of Bryant's party bus.
So Brian, was this Iowa State party bus as legendary as Trent made it out to be?
Yeah.
Was
I would
it?
say I think I was there a couple times for it.
Okay,
I would say
okay.
I would say we didn't quite interlap for school, but I would say I was there a few times, and I would say from what I remember, it was.
Yeah, we didn't quite interlap in school. Bryant says he's close to us in age. He's not.
Yeah.
That's
So,
right. He's
Brian-
the resident millennial. That's right.
Yeah.
Bryant's
He
older
was a
brother
freshman. Trent
graduated
was a
with us.
senior.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
Bryant was a
still-
freshman when we were seniors.
Okay, never mind then. Just having lived with him for a couple of years, there are a lot of fun stories. So I just wanted to comment.
Well, all of Trent's stories are fun. I mean, I could get back into the Tino days.
Why
go
tell
to Iowa
why,
Central
No,
and shit.
nothing pre-age of 21.
why tell
Well,
a story if it's not fun? I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
duh.
I mean, these guys remember Trent when he still had hair.
Yeah.
That was a
I'll
pretty
be
big
honest.
deal.
I didn't know Trent didn't have hair until we started doing the podcast. I didn't know
remember
that, so-
Trent before he had pubic hair. So,
Oh, Jesus Christ. Can we go to the NFL? That's enough you need to know about Trent.
All right, so let's do some locks of the week here for our NFL picks. We will we'll go in ascending order, just like we always do, I guess. Joey.
Yep, I'm
You're
gonna
up.
take the home team Falcons at plus 2.5.
Versus the Panthers. All right.
I'll be honest with you. I do not like any of these picks this week.
It is
I-
a rough week
Yes.
of picking.
This
Yeah.
week is awful.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why I'm taking my team at covering 2.5 points.
Against Sue?
The Panthers at Carolina.
Okay, wait.
Who's starting
At
for
2.5?
Carolina?
2.5
I-
points.
Are you looking at
Yeah.
MGM?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's at 2.5.
2.5.
Trent.
I've got
Hey,
it at 2.
no. You need to refresh your page.
Wow, that has
I agree.
changed since I last looked.
I mean,
see
that was like
2.5.
6 hours ago, wasn't it?
Probably.
I'm
Yeah.
showing
And
2.5
Yeah,
myself.
yep, I
Trent.
got 2.5 now. All right.
Okay.
You haven't even been drinking, bud.
Gotcha.
Poor guy.
So Joey's taking his team.
No wonder Trent's so short with us right now. He's dealing with us guys.
Or past his
Or
bedtime,
pubes.
too.
Yeah, I have to be up at 5. Just
I have to be up at 6, so
Yeah, we'll rush through these Trent. Don't
Which
you
is-
worry,
I got
buddy.
it.
7.
I gotta
here.
have these edited and ready to go tonight. So
yeah, well, yeah. See, we're wasting Clark's time.
So
That's
let's-
right.
So a little addendum to that one. We owe Clark. Clark is our main editor, so thank God for Clark for doing the amazing work that he is doing at the moment. We owe him a bottle of Canadian Club. So hopefully you guys can.
do I get to pick the Canadian bubbly? Is
No,
Whistle
that's-
Pig on the list?
That's Vermont, so that doesn't count.
Oh, it's
No,
Vermont.
Canadian Club
Shit.
is like a $15 bottle of whiskey. And so hopefully you guys can spread how amazing our podcast is so we can afford to pay Clark our Canadian Club salary.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Trent, what's your pick?
I am gonna go with the theme that we have been going with the whole time.
Are
We
you
love
taking the Lions?
we love the Detroit Lions.
Oh, that was
Nice.
my pick, you son of a bitch.
I'm taking Detroit at plus 7.5. They're gonna win again.
Against the Broncos?
They're winning again.
Oh yeah, that is an away game. The Lions are
You
on the
think
road.
MCDC is getting things going, huh?
I think they got a win under their belt and they're good to go.
All right.
Yes.
Watch out,
All right.
Jared Goff's gonna have 5
Can you
touchdowns this week.
please
Try.
can you please just switch it to the Steelers plus 3?
no. I got the Lions. I want to win my bet here. All right, Clark, who do you have?
Oh, well, you took the Lions. That was actually my number 2 pick. My number 1 pick is a team that's been looking hot. They are an underdog this week, playing a division rival. I'm taking that Washington football team to cover 4 points against the Dallas Cowboys.
All right. And
So far, we've got 3 underdogs.
that's right.
That's right.
We love the underdogs here on the Heartland. Ryan, who do you have?
I'm going opposite of you guys. I'm going Tampa Bay minus 3 against the Bills.
Shit.
That was
It's fucking. I was looking at the whole.
I
No.
thought you were
time.
taking Kansas City till the end of the season.
That was my third option, actually, was the Bucks to cover against the Bills. The Bills have looked like trash.
The Bills have looked terrible, and I've said this earlier in our podcast career. I will never bet against Tom Brady. Whether that's good or bad, I just cannot bet against Tom Brady.
Who are the Chiefs playing this week?
The
They're
Raiders.
playing the Raiders.
Raiders.
Is this Bryant's pick?
Well, not yet. Brian was gonna go over his I guess, did you have any more that you were going to go over on that?
He's stalling.
Nope.
All right, let's hear Brian rant.
No, legitimately, I guess if you want me to hold true to that Chiefs, I will. Otherwise, I was going to have the, I think Packers cover 12.5 versus the Bears. The Bears have looked just fucking awful this year.
If that's what you want,
that's fine.
Do you want the Packers?
Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm taking Packers covering 12.5 versus the Bears.
Does anybody know what's going on with Justin Fields at the moment?
Nagy doesn't know how to use them. That's about it.
Is he still hurt? Is he still hurt?
I would be hurt if Nagy was my head coach. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'd have a nagging injury for sure.
So here's my question. I mean, this is a question between Trent and I, since we're the resident Vikings fans. Trent, would you rather have Cousins or Fields?
Cousins
100%.
Like
would
right now,
you rather let's put Fields in that Viking system. Let's just swap them out, see what happens.
Well, Kirk Cousins is putting up.
Make that comparison.
Kirk Cousins is putting up Aaron Rodgers numbers right now.
Kirk Cousins has been phenomenal.
Kirk Cousins has been awesome. Yes.
If it weren't for Kirk Cousins, Minnesota would be worse than the Bears.
Yes.
I will agree, but let's swap quarterback for quarterback. Like, you cannot make that comparison. It's impossible.
I would agree with you, but I go back to, I think I said this again another couple podcasts ago. When was the last time an Ohio State quarterback has ever actually been successful in the NFL? Which isn't fair to Justin Fields. I will.
It's not at all.
No, not. I'll admit that 100%. But with what I've seen with Kirk Cousins is so accurate, whether it's between 0 yards and 20, 30, 40 yards. I would pick Kirk Cousins 10 times out of 10 over Justin Fields.
Yeah, but how many of those throws has he made compared to Justin Fields?
You got Nagy.
That's exactly it. I mean, does he have Justin Jefferson he's throwing to? No. Does he have Thielen he's throwing to? No.
Yeah, he's got Robinson there.
Has Robinson even played a fucking snap this year? I don't think so. I think he's been on that injured list because of fucking Nagy.
Getting a little heated here, boys.
Dude, I like making these comparisons amongst these young quarterbacks is bullshit. I
don't agree with it. 100%, I agree. And it's funny because you got Chicago should have drafted Mahomes, and thank God they did not draft Mahomes. They drafted
Mahomes wouldn't be Mahomes if he was in Chicago.
No, they drafted what's his name that's in Buffalo now.
Exactly.
Thank God Kansas City got him instead of Chicago should have gotten him.
Like other than Mahomes on-field performances over the past couple years, the dude is just a great person. Like, he has brought so much to Kansas City.
I love
a great
Mahomes.
Charitable guy. Like, he's just a great person. Like, I agree with that.
Even as a TCU fan, because that was when Trevon Boykin was big-time Trevon Boykin, Josh Dotson against Mahomes.
I think we are the most Trevon Boykin podcast that's ever been. Ever.
No. This is just this reference here because it was. Do you remember Clark? Did you pay attention to Texas A&M at all?
No.
Or Texas Tech, excuse me.
Not at all. I didn't even know who Mahomes was until the Chiefs picked him.
So, and that's the surprising thing about Cliff Kingsbury that he's so successful in the NFL with Arizona is he had Mahomes in college and did nothing with him. But I remember TCU versus Mahomes, and Kingsbury, and Boykin and Dotson and TCU, Gary Patterson usually won those games. How did Kingsbury not do anything with Mahomes in the NFL? It's one of my biggest questions. But Mahomes was like the bright spot.
You can talk about a quarterback all you want. It's football. It's an 11-man sport. What kind of line did he have? What 100%. Kind of receivers did he have? What kind of game plan did they have as far as like running backs versus passing and stuff like that? Like, it's a complete team sport. Like, if they only have to defend the pass, it becomes a one-dimensional game. It's really easy. If he doesn't have any protection, it's really easy. Just pressure him. No big deal.
a lot of that is also scheme with Andy Reid. You know, I love the guy to death. He was able to take a raw talent like Patrick Mahomes, who had the athleticism, with his father who played for the Rangers, in case anyone hasn't watched a Chiefs game for the last fucking 3 years where they tout about it all the time. But, you know, when you have that raw athleticism there, and then obviously from there now you have a quarterback guru who can make, you know, Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick and all these, you know, quarterbacks.
Yep.
They're not the sole reason, but he can fine tune it and make these quarterbacks look good. You know, that's the next step. Like you're saying, like, where Kingsbury couldn't do anything with the raw talent there.
Murray's looking dang good though.
I think the secret,
and so
Andy
did Colt
Reid,
McCoy,
is he lets players play. Like he lets you go out there and do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you know, with Mahomes, I love watching Mahomes. He is to me, he is the most exciting quarterback in the NFL at this moment. And so that's why when it comes to the AFC, Kansas City is definitely a team I cheer for.
I kind of wonder how much he did become a father this past year. Is he, you know, this past year he hasn't looked the same as he had the past couple of years. Is that because of rest? Is that because of him looking at the future? You know, I have no idea.
Trent can comment on that. I mean, Trent's the only father of all of us.
He can, but he again.
Yeah,
you know, person to person, you never know what's going through another person's head.
No,
exactly.
and Clark, you and I are leading into fatherhood, and I know for sure my life has been a lot more busier. That's for sure. Trying to get things prepared.
Yeah,
I agree.
How many TDs are you two throwing for though?
I'm good for at least one or two.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, that's more than Mahomes had last week.
Exactly.
That's the biggest. But my biggest question is with Kingsbury. Like, how did he go from Mahomes to not? He didn't have a great record at Texas A&M to now he's leading the NFC. He's beating Aaron Rodgers at the moment. He's beating who is it? LaFleur. He's beating LaFleur at the moment. It's pretty impressive the transformation he's made from college to NFL.
Like, I feel like the NFL is more managing your talent than it is
than recruiting and developing the players.
Then optimizing your talent where you can't at schools like Texas Tech.
I say at Texas Tech, he had to get those players there. Could he get a great offensive line? Maybe not. Did he get Mahomes? Sure. Was he able to do much with Mahomes because he didn't have a great offensive line? Nope. All right. So football is a complete sport. And in the NFL, you know, he gives Kyler Murray a great set of tools to go out there and be Kyler Murray.
I honestly think the Arizona Cardinals might be the most talented offensive team there is. You might rival with Kansas City and the Bucs, but I mean, you've got fucking Hopkins, you've got AJ Green, you've got Rydell Moore, you've got the third one, Kirk.
They picked up Zach Ertz this year as well.
Yeah, they picked up Zach Ertz. Like, I mean, they are extremely fucking talented.
They're gonna be tough to beat. If Kyler stays healthy, they will be tough to beat.
Can you name an offensive lineman on that team?
No.
Why would you need to?
I'm just curious. It's not like they have a super dominant pass line or a super dominant run line or anything like that. So
they don't have any Tristan Wirfs. I get that.
Exactly.
So this is something I wanted to bring up because for me, I thought this was ridiculous as a Vikings fan. Kirk Cousins led the Vikings to a lead to win the game against the Detroit Lions with, what was it, Trent? I think a minute 50 left or something like that. Close to that.
Trent's
Stephen A. Smith, who makes way more money, again, like I said, I'll ever see, blames Kirk Cousins for not being a leader for the defense to stop the Lions. Why would Kirk Cousins, the QB of the Minnesota Vikings, have to be the leader for the defense to stop the
that's
offense?
bullshit.
What? I'm sorry. I know Kirk Cousins is easy to crap on. I'm not the guy to do that. I mean, the last 2-3 seasons, Trent, my buddy Chad, Trent's gotten to know through Twitter, I have always stood up for Kirk Cousins. I whether right or wrong, that's up for discussion. But how can you blame Kirk Cousins for not leading the defense to stop Jared Goff.
I mean, I can't believe
touchdown.
Kirk Cousins didn't make Harrison Smith make all those interceptions to give
Right.
the Vikings the ball back. This is
Come on.
bullshit.
Is
Freaking
he
Kirk
playing
Cousins is the worst.
Is he playing cornerback along with Dantzler and Breland? I don't know how good Breland was for Kansas City. You two can tell me how Breland was for Kansas City. Breland has been an absolute dumpster fire for the Vikings. He has been absolute garbage for the Vikings.
I feel like cornerback is always a losing position, no matter how good you play. The NFL is a passing league.
Yes.
It will always favor the quarterbacks and the wide receivers. No matter how well you play at cornerback, you're always going to be blamed.
But to blame the quarterback of any team, I don't care if it's Kirk, I don't care if it's Dak Prescott, I don't care Murray, Rodgers, Brady, whoever. How can you blame them for not being good enough of a leader for the defense to stop the Lions from getting a touchdown? I'm sorry. That is the dumbest take I have ever taken.
That is bullshit. It's kind of like comparing, it's, Brady versus, freaking Manning here. Well, it's not really Brady versus Manning. It's Brady versus, Colts, Broncos defense, whatever. Exactly. It's never quarterback versus.
Exactly. It's just the dumbest take I've ever seen. I'm sorry. Kirk Cousins, you can crap on him all you want. But if he was on any other team with a defense that wasn't ranked 30th in the league, he would be looking like an MVP at the moment.
All right. Anything else on the NFL?
Nope.
Nothing?
Off against that defense. The quarterbacks.
Clark, where'd it go?
Well, I dropped out there. I didn't hear anybody, so I didn't talk anymore. I mean, I said it was complete shit, and I lost everybody after that. So I was just here cleaning the bottom of my whiskey glass. I made my point and didn't hear anybody, so I was just waiting to hear what happened.
Everyone should check out the new profile pics we have on Facebook and Twitter.
Are we finishing up here? Are we talking about the NCAA's booziest fans?
I'm ready for bed.
I agree. Let's wrap it up.
I got to be up in 4
that.
hours.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. We'll do some of the fun. We went way long. Let's do some of the Funcast next week.
So, all right, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us through the Funcast. This is one of our favorite podcasts to do. Let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what you want to hear. Hit us up on the social media accounts. What are the socials, Joey?
Yep, Twitter and Instagram, both at Heartland Pulse. And then hit us up on Facebook and now YouTube. Just look us up, Pulse of the Heartland. We're there. We just put new logos up for everybody, and we also just put a new profile pic up for everything. So let's do that shit.
Yep, that logo definitely looks a lot cleaner than what we used to have.
Yes, I like it.
And so does the profile pic.
Good job to Trent for that logo. We got to give kudos to Trent.
Appreciate you.
Good job.
Yeah, I did just look at the Twitter account. Yes, thank you, Joey, for putting that as like our header or whatever you call that
You're
picture.
welcome.
It's grabbing the bull by the horns. Apparently, that's what we're doing here at Pulse of the Heartland. All right.
Exactly.
We're really inspired by White Goodman.
Yes. All right. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate you.
Bye, everybody.